Well, it may be the happiest time of your life, but nothing causes more turmoil and upheaval in a marriage than a birth of a baby.
Our women's health expert, Dr. Jennifer Wider, is also the author of this book. Take a look, The New Mom's Survival Guide, How to Reclaim Your Body, Health, Sanity, and Sex Life after having a baby. And she's back with us today. Welcome back. We love when you're here.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you.
And in your book, Reclaiming Your Sex Life is just one of the topics that you touch on. But for many couples, it really ends up being the most difficult part of having a baby. True?
It definitely is. You know, I interviewed a ton of couples for this book, and I have to tell you, there is no larger hot button topic than sex after baby. And for women who are exhausted, this ranks probably somewhere between low priority and nightmare. And for guys who feel totally marginalized with the baby, it's never been more important to them, and so not important to you.
You are a mama too, and you were talking earlier about the fact that you joined, or rather created, a support group for that reason, because you noticed after your first baby, time is a huge issue.
It is a huge issue, and there's nothing worse than feeling alone and feeling that you're the only person that's either not having sex with your partner or having postpartum depression or anxiety, and so it's so important to network with other women.
It's that fear and pain.
It is.
Pain.
Well, what are some of the topics that you're finding in terms of that?
Some of the roadblocks to having sex, you know, after pregnancy is, one of the big ones is fear and pain. Your body has trained like an Olympic athlete for 9 months. You did this amazing physical feat, and all of a sudden, your body's exhausted. You're exhausted, your ligaments hurt, your muscles ache. Most women complain of vaginal, rectal, or back pain, and so those are really common issues, and so the thought of having sex really can make some women cringe.
And you know what else is body image? I think we struggle as women in general, not being pregnant, with just the issues of what our body looks like, how we feel. So, I mean, after having a baby, I can imagine it must be actual chaos in terms of just trying to come to grips with what your body looks like and how it feels.
No, it's absolutely true. I think body image is a huge issue for people, and people need to adjust their expectations. If you think you're going to fit into your hippest pair of pre-pregnancy jeans 3 weeks after having baby, it's not happening exactly. Well, some women may be able to do that, most women can't. And think about the things that your body went through. You know, you have that taut belly that housed the baby is now a wasteland of flabby skin. You have
well, when you put it that way, Dr. Wider, it sure sounds appealing to us now, doesn't it?
You first, Sonia. You first.
You have stretch marks. You have, you know, you're sore in areas that you don't want to mention. You have scars that are in various staging of healing. So, really, truthfully, your body it's taken a toll, and your body's changed. You know, some women might have told you their feet size go up, their breasts are much larger, their nipples are larger, so you feel self-conscious.
I feel like all of that mentally could lead to a low sex drive, but what are some of the other reasons that women often have a lower sex drive after having a baby?
And that's a good point. One of the things that women need to realize is there are chemical things going on in your body that affect your libido. After you have the baby, estrogen and progesterone plummet. They're very low. Those hormones are responsible for your sex drive, so after that you're feeling a low sex drive. Chronic sleep deprivation leads to fatigue and exhaustion. That, you know, add that on to after having a birth and having this amazing physical feat, add on the countless hours that you're missing of sleep with a newborn, and you're exhausted, and that takes a toll on your sex drive as well.
And what is the message for some men at home that have their wives at home and saying, you know what, that's my wife, she's exhausted, she seems irritable because your kids are pulling on you, your husband wants to have sex, and you're like, for the love of God, leave me alone. Like, just don't even touch me.
It's important for guys to realize this. They need to be aware of what's going on. Women need to review their expectations. Most women, by 6 to 8 weeks, may be ready to have sex, but for some women, that's not even realistic. It may be several months down the road. If their partner is supportive, there are ways that you can feel intimate without really getting intimate. You can hold hands, you can go to the movies. Take it slow. Don't rush into anything. Women's bodies need time to heal, and if the husband's supportive, it will make a difference.
And it might even be a longer span of time for women who are breastfeeding longer. What are some of the challenges that come into play when they're breastfeeding?
Definitely, and this is another great point. The issue is when you breastfeed, you produce a chemical called prolactin, which also decreases estrogen and progesterone. That lowers your sex drive, and in addition, it causes vaginal dryness. So for women, it may be very uncomfortable to have sex, and that happens during breastfeeding. Some women don't complain of this, but it usually subsides after your body regulates, gets used to breastfeeding, and it definitely goes away after women stop breastfeeding.
How long, though, is too long? If a woman at home and just had a baby, I mean, what is that time span when you're saying, listen, I've gone 7 to 8 months without having sex? I mean, for some people, that's long. For guys, we're probably like, my goodness, I'm ready now. I mean, how should you be gauging that?
No, Des, it's a good point. I think that if you find that you haven't had sex 6 to 8 months later, it may be time to discuss. If there are no physical roadblocks, then if you're emotionally concerned about your body image or you're emotionally concerned about other things, talk to your partner, have an open and honest communication, a good open, honest relationship. relationship, and if need be, you can seek help. People are out there to help you, and you are not the first woman to go through this. Women have marched this path, you know, many times before. Couples have been through this and worse, so know that you're not alone, not isolated, and couples can get through this.
And I do want to mention, obviously, there's a lot of great advice in your book, but you are also the medical advisor at Cosmopolitan Magazine, true?
I am.
And you have a show, it's a Cosmo radio show, it's on XM and Sirius. And so is this a big topic? Do you get a lot of moms calling in with questions regarding this?
I mean, people really are concerned about this. It's a very, very tumultuous time for people, but it can be amazing, and people can get through it. And knowing that you're not alone is so important, and just being validated is important. That's why it's important to have women around you that are going through the same thing.
Other women. And I mean, you've had to find that positive in that support group that you created.
Absolutely. It made a huge difference, and everyone's doing fine now.
Look at there. Look at her. She's smiling at the same time.
That's good to hear.
The book, again, is called The New Mom's Survival Guide, How to Reclaim Your Body, Health, Sanity, and Sex Life After Having a Baby. Important stuff. Great tips. Dr. Jennifer Wider, we always love it when you're in.
Yes, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Good to
see you. All right.